So previous week was good. You all had a good weekend. And like Mataji was asking, you're doing your homeworks and your tests, right? Timely. So keep doing it, okay? You will be revised with the sessions that we're doing. So like we do every time, we will start the session with a small chanting that we do for 5 minutes. Then we will take a quick recap and then we will begin with the session, okay, for today's topic. So those who have the beads can use the beads, and those who don't have, you can close your eyes and we will do the chanting. Okay, it's just like in school also, you do a small prayer, right? When you begin your school. So like that. Okay. So you can close your eyes, everyone. Okay. Join your hands and we'll start the chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, all of you can open your eyes. We'll begin with the session, okay? So I could see that Atharv and Anaga, they do very sincerely. And you both are siblings, right? Atharv and Anaga? Okay. So we will begin, okay, with the session. Anyone knows what's the... Okay, before we start with today's session, we'll take a quick recap. And instead of a recap, I actually asked all of you to, memorize the shlokas that we had done in the previous class. So how many of you have memorized? Has anyone memorized the shloks that we discussed in the previous class? We had discussed 4 shlokas, right? Anyone? No one has memorized. Like, what was the challenge? Was there anything with the pronunciation, or what was the challenge? You can tell me. Anyone who wants to share why you could not memorize? Atharv, you will tell me why you could not memorize? Because you're quite active with, all the homeworks, you do everything timely.
Ma'am, I forgot to do the Bhagavad Gita shlokas.
Oh, you forgot. Okay, then you can do it, this week, okay? In the next class, I will ask all of you, okay? So in the next class, I'll ask the shlokas that we discussed in the previous class. So Anaka, also, you want to share why you could not do?
Yes, ma'am.
You also forgot?
Ma'am, I forgot.
Okay. So see, okay, in the next class then, I will ask the same question. Memorize the shlokas. If you have any difficulty, you can refer to the audios also, okay? Shraddha, have you learned or you want to tell why you could not learn?
The exams.
You have exams. Okay. All right. Okay. But try to take out time. Okay. For this also, you can try to take out time. Now we will start with today's session. Anyone knows what's the topic for today's session? We will be discussing a very interesting topic today. Anaga knows the topic. Yes, Anaga.
Story.
Hmm?
Story.
No, today is not story. Today is Bhagavad Gita, and our topic for today is ghost. Ghosts.
Ghost.
Yes, we will be discussing about ghosts today, about bhoot. Okay, so everyone is interested? How many of you interested can raise your hands? I can see Anagathab is very excited. Even all of you here exercise. Sai Charan is also smiling. Okay, and Advait was sitting on top of the bed. Now he came down after listening the topic. Okay then. Okay. Even Ritvika is excited. Okay. So it's nice. Okay. You will get to learn, till all these days you have seen in serials and movies. Today we will see what is the spiritual aspect of ghosts. Okay. So I will share my screen and let me know if it's visible. Okay. So my screen is visible to everyone. This is our topic for today. Okay. Now, how many of you believe that ghosts exist? Can raise up their hand. Atharv believes, Rutvika believes. Okay. So now we will see if they do really exist, then how do they exist? If they don't exist, then why they don't exist. Okay. Now, before we understand this, we will remember we'll have to take a quick, you have to remember what we had done in one class, and I will ask this question. Okay, we have three layers, right? The gross body, the subtle body, and soul, right? We had discussed this in the soul topic. So, who can tell me that what was the subtle body composed of? Okay, Anaka, you can tell me what the subtle body was composed of? They were, yes, tell me.
Air.
No, that air is not for the subtle body. That is something which is referring to the gross body. I'm asking about the subtle body.
I don't know about the subtle body.
Okay, no worries. It's okay.
Ma'am, can I tell about the gross body?
Yes, yes. Okay, tell me the five components. There are five in the gross body. You can tell me.
Air,
Hmm.
ether, water,
Hmm.
Air, fire. Other fire. Fire.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yes, that's for the gross body. Now, very good. Okay, and keep revising the other things also. Okay, Anaka.
Okay,
Now,
ma'am.
yeah. Okay. Very good. Now, Sai Charan, you tell me for the subtle body. What were the components of the subtle body? Because we will.
Ma'am, mind, intelligence, false ego.
Yes, very good. So, okay, we will need these, you will need to remember these things so that you can understand the things further. Okay. Now, what happens is this. See, in that session, we had also discussed this, right? That how does the human mind work? We had discussed it that we have a consciousness, we have Chetna, right? Who can tell me the three characteristics of a soul? It also had three characteristics. Mind, intelligence, and false ego are the components, what it is made up of. But soul had three characteristics also. Anyone remembers? Sai Charan, you know? Okay, Shraddha knows. Yes, sir, Shraddha.
Satchitarand.
Yes, very good. Satchitanand. And the English translation was eternal. And then we have knowledge and bliss. So now, wherever there's a soul in a body, right, it has consciousness. Okay. So when we have consciousness, what are the three things that an individual can do? They can think, they can feel, and they have a will, right? All of you can think here, right? All of you can feel, and all of you have a will. You know, will means that I have the will that I will do my homework or not. I have the will that I will attend the class or not. You know, you have a particular will, right, with you. So what happens is, now, why am I discussing all this? Then what is the relation between these things and ghosts? So the relation between these things are that because ghosts are connected to the human body. And how? Now, this slide is very important here. Okay. See, I will read it out for you all first. A human consists of the gross body, subtle body, and soul, which you already know of. Ghosts, however, have only subtle body and soul. They lack the gross body. So there is just one difference between all of us and ghosts. We have a gross body, that is the outermost covering, right? We also have a subtle body, we have a mind, we have an intelligence, we also have a false ego, and we have a soul. But in cases of ghosts, what happened is they do have the subtle body, that is, they have a mind, they have intelligence, and they also have false ego. They have a soul also, but they lack the gross body. Okay, that is the outermost covering. Okay, of which Anaga just mentioned the five components, Anaga and Saicharan. Okay, so that is the difference between a ghost and a human. Okay, if you all have any questions during the session also, no, you can drop in the chat box also, which you think you might forget later, no, the questions, so that none of your questions are missed, and any question which you want to tell verbally, that we will take in the end. Okay, so Anaga, you have a question, you can drop in the chat box. Okay, you can type in the chat box also quickly, and we will take in the end also. Now, what happens is they lose their body due to suicide or unnatural causes, which turns them into ghost. Now, see what certain individuals they do, they make the misuse of their capability to make a decision. We have see in this slide we discussed, right, that we have the ability to think, we also have the ability to make a decision, we have a willingness, right? So some people, what do they do? They get so frustrated with life, or they make the decision to end their life themselves, but they don't, what happens, they may be successful in ending their gross body, but they cannot end their subtle body and soul like this. We all have a particular lifespan which is pre-decided. If see since they end their life before the destined time, they remain as ghost. So you will understand this better with this. God assigns a specific lifespan to everyone. Okay. If someone ends their life before completing their destined age, they become ghost. Now, all of us, we have a specific lifetime. Suppose some of us have 100, some may have 70. Now, at the age of 20 or at the age of 30 itself, I decided, no, I will end my life. So I might, for example, I might suicide. So that will, my gross body will be destroyed, but my subtle body and soul will still continue to exist until I complete my lifespan on this earth. Okay. So that is how people become ghosts. They are people who have died, through unnatural causes. They have ended their life, or their life has ended before the predestined time. Okay. Now there's an example here, which I also just gave you. For example, if a person is meant to live for 100 years but dies at 60, they will exist as a ghost for the remaining 40 years. Okay. So if someone's destined lifespan is 100 years, but the life ends at the age of 60, the person will continue to exist at a ghost because they will have to complete their lifespan on this planet. Okay. During this period, they exist without a gross body as they have prematurely lost it. So now, the subtle body and the soul, they are very, very small, very small. Okay. Like the tip of your hair also, 1/100th time of that is that small. That is why you cannot see subtle bodies. Okay. And you might have a lot of subtle bodies, it might be roaming around you also, and we are not aware of it. there might be ghosts around you also, sitting around you, and it is not something to be afraid of. You will understand why. It's not something to be afraid of, or if you are afraid now, that also we will discuss why you're afraid of it. But they do exist with us in this realm only. With us they exist. The only difference between them and us is we have a gross body which can be visible to the eyes, okay, but they do not have a subtle body. They do not have, sorry, a gross body, okay. They still have the subtle body and the soul. Now, the question is why ghosts irritate living beings? Okay. Now, why do they irritate us? Now, if they are existing with us, we do not irritate them, then why do they, uh, irritate us, or they try to connect with us? Okay. So, the reason behind this is ghosts have unfulfilled desires. So, they seek out people with similar intentions to fulfill them. Now, like we all have wishes, right? Okay, we have a wish, we have certain desires with us. So these ghosts also, before becoming a ghost, they were humans, right? They had a gross body, they had a subtle body, and they had a soul. So there are certain desires of theirs which still, which are still left unfulfilled or unfinished. So because of those desires, they try to seek out people with similar intentions. With similar intentions here meaning, suppose if someone has a particular desire to eat a certain kind of food, okay, and that desire is unfulfilled, then they will try to look for a person who has the desire to eat that similar food, okay. So that is why they try to connect to those people who have their similar desires, and they try to enter their gross body so that they can fulfill their own desire. Okay, till here everyone is with me? Show me a thumbs up. Everyone is with me? Okay. If you have any questions which you think which needs to be discussed, you can drop in the chat box. Okay, we will take it up. Okay, we'll move forward. Now, there's an example here, through which you will understand. For example, if someone broke down their house by their own will, but now wants the comfort, so they will try to go to another house for comfort. This is like an example. You can see that you can keep your gross body in the place of a house. Okay. Now, suppose I have a house, I have a very beautiful house, and because I was angry, or because of some reason I was very frustrated or something, I broke that house. Okay. I completely destroyed that house out of out of my will, out of my own decision. Okay, I did that. Now I still need a house, right? I cannot just be homeless. So what will I do? I will try to go into someone else's house, right? Because now I don't have a home, and how will I build one so quickly? So that is what ghosts do. Okay, in houses and these things, you still have the option that you can build one, but a gross body, that is not something which a subtle body, a soul can build by itself. It is given. Now, if you have destroyed it, you have destroyed it. You have to complete your lifespan until you get your new life, until you get a reborn as a new birth. So this lifespan needs to be completed. So until then, they will be homeless. They will be without a gross body. Okay, till here, you're all with me? Okay. Now, another example here, this is the example which I gave you, why they are trying to seek us out. Why do they try to connect to us? For example, if a ghost loves eating gulab jamun, it will be drawn to someone who also enjoys it. Okay. So how many of you, like your gulab jamuns? Okay. Or ice creams? So, if a ghost, that ghost, suppose that ghost also, likes gulab jamuns a lot. So they will try to identify those people. Now, why will they try to identify only such a people? Because someone, suppose if I don't like gulab jamun, and if the ghost comes to me, what is the use? I will not like it only. I will never eat it. So the ghost will never be satisfied, right? Now, this happens because ghosts need a gross body to fulfill their desires. They cannot fulfill their desires without a gross body, because if they have the desire to take a gulab jamun, where will they take it? They don't have the gross body only. So that is why they seek out for other gross bodies. Okay. Next, ghost stays inside human body and control them. This happens because the body holds two souls, one of the human and one of the ghost. The ghost souls dominates the human soul, especially if the human soul is weak. Now, this is something which we might have noticed in movies also, which we watched, or must have seen, that when a ghost, possesses another person or enters another person's body, then Now, two souls exist in that body, one of that person himself and one of the ghost. Now, if the original soul, that is the soul of that body, is weak, then what will happen? The ghost soul will dominate that soul. Okay. Now you can again take this example from the house, which we just discussed, the house example. Now, if suppose I broke my house and then I go and I stay in someone else's house, and if I'm very strong, I am dominating, and the person who is already living in that house is very timid, very shy, doesn't say anything, very weak, then I will dominate. And ultimately, what will happen? Gradually, I will take over that house like it is my house. So the same thing happens with those who possesses human. Okay. They enter first. What's the first step? They seek for a person who has similar desires. Okay. Next, they enter that body. Now, once they enter that body, they try to control. They try to, control the actions of that particular human. That is why you will notice when a person is possessed by a ghost, they act very differently. They don't act like they always behave. Their behavior changes. They do things which they normally do not do. Why? Because they are not doing that out of their will. They are doing that out of the willingness of the new, of the new soul that has entered that body. Okay. So, yes, they dominate the human soul, especially if the human soul is weak. So, is everyone's soul weak? Can ghosts control everyone? Now, these are questions which we need to discuss here. So, how many of you, think that can ghosts control everyone? Can raise up their hand? And how many of you fear that, how many of you fear ghosts here? Can raise up their hand? You fear ghosts. Okay. Anaga, would you like to share why you fear ghosts?
Because they look so scary.
They look scary. Okay. And Athar, you want to share what is the reason you're scared with ghosts? Have I unmute? Yeah.
Scared. Ma'am, I'm scared because what if a ghost takes over my body? That's why I'm scared.
Okay. This is also another reason. We will discuss all these reasons. And Arijit and Sai Chiran also wants to share. Wait. Where is Arijit's? Yeah, unmute. I have unmuted you.
Ghosts
One second. 1 second. Yeah, say now.
are cute.
Sorry?
Ghosts are cute.
Ghosts are cute. Okay.
Question. Example of me. There's a man who died and then ghost, right? He wanted to take over me. But what if my soul is so like way more stronger than the ghost's soul? What will happen?
Then it will not be able to dominate you if it enters. And first thing, it will not be able to enter only if your soul is strong. So that is what we will discuss in today's session also, how to make our soul strong.
Wait,
Okay.
so if you do meditation work or
Yes, you're right there. If
possible we can like kill the ghost if our soul is stronger.
no, we cannot kill the ghost because it's a subtle body and a soul. So gross body can be destroyed, but subtle body and soul, soul to cannot be destroyed. We have discussed, right? It's eternal. So you cannot kill the ghost. Okay. Because it's a soul. A soul can never be destroyed. We will take up these doubts again also. Okay, Arijit. Okay. Sai Chiran, you wanted to share, right?
Ma'am, they come.
Hmm?
Ma'am, they will come in once near our.
Can you repeat? Your voice was breaking.
Ma'am, they can come in 1 second near us.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And that is because they are present, amongst us. It's not like they are somewhere else. They are amongst us. Okay. And they are very small, very tiny. So we can only sense them sometimes, but we cannot see them. Okay. I think everyone's hands are down. Anagaya, you shared, right? What do you want to say? Say. Okay. Then we will continue.
Ma'am, why do goats doesn't stay far of us? Why do they like us?
Okay, now this is because they stay here because they have nowhere else to go. Where will they go? They were supposed to stay here for 100 years, but they killed themselves or they died at the age of 40 only. So they have to complete the remaining 60 years in year out here only. They have no other place to go. That is why they stay here. Okay. Okay, wait, you're saying something? Yes?
Ma'am, I am scared of ghosts because they will harm us.
Okay, this we will now discuss in the upcoming slides. Okay, we will discuss how will they harm us, or why they do they look scary. Okay, so see now, everyone's souls is weak. The answer to this is no. And can ghosts control everyone? Again, here the answer is no. Okay. Now, Anaga mentioned here, right? Are ghosts as scary as they are shown on the TV? Now, she mentioned that she is scared of ghosts. Why? Because they look scary. But are they really? Now, this is something we see in the television, right? Who has seen a ghost? Now, how can we decide if they really look that scary? So, the answer to this is no, ghosts are not as scary as they no, ghosts are not scary. They are just a form of imagination similar to our dreams. Now here the very the question is answered here that they are not scary in real. Okay, they are just a form of imagination. Now they cannot be scary because they do not have a gross body. Now something that does not have a body on itself, how can it be scary? But why do they appear scary? Now this is also a question. This is because they make use of their imagination. Okay, and they control our imagination. Now in your dreams also, sometimes what happens when you see a dream, you might see that you're falling from a quite a height, or you're falling from a very tall building. But does that really happen? When you are dreaming something which is like a nightmare, does that really happen? But you're feeling scared, right? So that is why that time you're imagining that. So ghosts also, what they do, okay, when they want to scare you, they just play with your imagination. They control your imagination. Okay. So they make you see things which are scary, but in real they are not scary. They don't even have a subtle body. They are very small, very tiny. Okay. They do not have a gross body. They just have subtle and the soul. So it's just in your imagination that is happening. You're seeing them as scary and very weird. Okay, so in real they are not scary. Now, how do we protect? Now, all of you just mentioned why you're scared of ghosts. They might come and they come very quickly. All these things we discussed just now. But do you know how to protect your soul from ghosts and what we can do to prevent them from disturbing us? So we just discussed, right, that how a strong soul can dominate a weak soul and control them. But what are the precautions, or what are the remedies to these? So the remedies to these are, we need to follow the following steps. Okay, now here, what we are already doing, what you all are already doing, okay, it is one who reads Bhagavad Gita, one who meditates on a regular basis. Now why, why ghosts will not be able to reach out to these people? Now see, someone who is drawn to Bhagavad Gita, or who is meditating, and what we discussed, that ghosts have certain unfulfilled desires, right? Now someone who is meditating, their desires get controlled. They reduce day by day. You do not have unnecessary desires. So if a particular person does not have particular desire which the ghost is interested in, so the ghost will not enter that person's body. Okay, and even if he does, he will be like, this person, so he's meditating, he's just chanting Hare Krishna, he's so boring, what will I do? So they are not interested in such people. Okay, and next, they know by themselves that I will not be able to control the soul of this person, because the soul of a person who is reading Bhagavad Gita, who is chanting, who is meditating, is very strong. Okay, it is very strong. It cannot be dominated by a foreign, or no, or by a different soul. Okay, now can strengthen. So person who reads Bhagavad Gita and who does meditation can strengthen their soul spiritually. When a soul has fewer desires and is spiritually strong, ghosts fears coming near them. So just now, we were talking about us fearing the ghost. We all discussed, you gave your reasons. So in real, what happens, if you're doing these two things, if you're spiritually inclined, the ghost will in fact fear you. It will be fearful of coming in front of you, or, connecting to you or controlling you. Okay. Yes, Adijit, I'll take your question. You have a question? Okay, I'll take that. I just have few more slides. We will take a questionnaire round only, okay? Is Mataji saying something?
No, Mataji. Carry on.
Oh, yes. So this chanting, okay? So what do? This is one of the best ways, the best and the easiest way to make your soul strong, which is by chanting Hare Krishna. So all of you, can chant this together. You can chant. I think you all are mute. So what will we chant? We'll chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. So this was the overall about the ghost. Okay, we discussed how they are formed, what is the difference between a ghost and a human. Okay, they're not scary at all. Okay, and why they try to connect to us also, we saw they try to connect to us because they have certain desires of their own which they want to fulfill through us. Okay, now another thing, they are not scary at all. They are just like us. Just imagine, it's just a human being without a gross body. That's the only mere difference. They still have very, literally, they have very small desires like to eat gulab jamun. And now, see, if you have a certain desire to do something for so many years and you're not being able to fulfill it, how strong it can become. That is why they try to control, someone else's soul. Okay. Now we will take up the questions for today's session. We'll start with Arijit. Arijit is already saying something. Okay, Arijit, I have. Are you on mute?
Nothing, mother.
Yes.
Nothing. I don't want to say right now. I'll say later.
Are you fighting with someone?
This is
Okay, you can say it later, okay? Okay, Anaga, your question?
Ma'am, why do ghosts like us?
Why do ghosts like us? Okay, they like us, they will like only that person who can fulfill their desire. Okay, if they see that this.
Why do they get scared if we are doing all those things?
Because they know that they will not be able to control us. That is why they get scared. They will not have the guts to disturb us or to enter our body. If you read Bhagavad Gita and if you do meditation, if you do, you're into spirituality, your soul, like, we had discussed in soul session that what is the soul's food? Like we have food for the body, we have a food for the soul also, na? So if you're giving these nutritions to the soul will be strong, right? If you give good nutrition to your body is strong. So if the soul gets its nutritions, that is, scripture reading and meditation, it becomes strong. Okay.
How we eat food and we get strongness like that, our soul will get the same thing.
Yes, if you do meditation and scripture reading, your soul will be strong.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Atharv. 1 minute.
Ma'am, after the souls, ma'am, after the ghost's desires is completed, will the ghost leave the person's body?
Yes, they usually do that, if their desire is completed. But in that process, what happens? They leave that original body very weak because in a one gross body now two, there are two souls. So it becomes very, they leave that body very weak and everything. So in many cases, they do leave the body, okay? But sometimes they also end up either, it leads to the death of that person whom they are controlling, or they leave that person very weak. So our motive here is not to let the ghost enter only our body, about controlling and leaving, but it's very different. But our purpose is that they will not try to come near to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Arijit, now you can speak.
So can you go back to the last two slides?
Yes, we will. Okay. I'll go back.
The one where it said the meditation thing. I mean, before the meditation thing.
This?
Yeah. So you remember like how you said that ghost will control you?
Hmm.
Is it always ghosts are evil, or there are some chances they're good?
Now see, ghosts are not evil always, okay? But they had, now see, if someone who is we'll take the example of suicide, okay? There's someone who is suiciding, that's not a right decision, right? You have taken the decision to end your own body. So they are, they have certain desires which are not right. So they're not always evil, they are helpful also, but they have a certain desire, that is why they're still left here.
Okay.
Okay.
But wait, stop. Wait, so can you go like, okay, well, my brother wants to talk for a minute.
Say.
Does a ghost have subtle body and a soul?
Does a ghost? So yes, a ghost has just these two things. They just have a subtle body and a soul. The only thing.
When you said about what is a ghost, I thought the soul is only a ghost.
No, not just soul. They also have, now see, because they have the mind, the intelligence, and the false ego, that is why they're still stuck. That is why they're still stuck. Remember why we take rebirth? Because of karma and desires. Now, if you still have desires, you'll still be here. That is why they're still stuck here. Okay?
So, teacher, imagine you're doing Bhagavad Gita, okay? But that guy who, so there was a Rishi Muni, okay? Imagine. He did a lot of things like that for prayer, but then mistakenly he fell into a trap and died. He turned into a ghost since he had few years left. Then there's another guy. He also does thing, right? So what? And then when he enters, so what if the both of these two souls have equivalent space? Like, so if the Rishi Muni who died, the soul is 80%, the guy who is meditating is also 80% his soul. So what will happen?
Okay. So see, first of all, the person who has just died naturally, suppose you gave the example of the Rishi Muni, okay? Maybe he was destined to die that way. It was not an unnatural death. So it's not that every, the result of every death is that a person becomes a ghost. It's only in unnatural cases that they become a ghost. Okay? Now, if someone who is already pursuing, who's already doing Bhagavad Gita and who is taking does chanting also, they will not become a ghost. Because in their lifespan they've already done these things. So a Rishi Muni, he will not become a ghost. He will, what you mentioned there, na? So the comparison there is that he will not become a ghost because he has already, and what he has died because everyone has to die one day. No, everyone doesn't become a ghost, right? It's just in certain cases. Maybe the lifespan of that Rishi Muni was that much only. So he died when his time of death came, he died.
But my mom said, I don't know, a few years ago when I was like a bit smaller because I'm 9, like I think 8 or 7. She said that we were reading Bhagavad Gita and then he said like he gave a shrap Krishna to some guy and then the shrap was like once everybody dies you will be the only one left and you will be the one who's covered in green smoke. What does that green smoke mean?
You will be covered in
green smoke, like the whole world will be covered in green smoke and you'll be the only one alive. I didn't get the part that one.
Okay, about this story.
It was like the last part at the end. No, not the end. Like in the battlefield one.
I think you're talking about Ashwadama here, if I'm correct.
I don't know. I forgot him.
Because he did get one shrap from Lord Krishna that he will be left in this. He will be Amar, means he will never die. So he was given that shrap, and then he was also giving up.
In the battlefield, he got that.
Yes, he got that shrap, okay, because of his reasons only. He had done certain things which were not right. So that is why. But he is not he is not a ghost. Ashwadama is still present. Okay.
Where?
Yes, he's still there. Like we say there, they are these that he's still there in the Himalayas, but he's there. We have like Ashwadama is still there. That's what it's true.
But what did they mean by the green smoke?
Now, green smoke is something which I have not heard. I will have to get this checked, okay?
I heard that part very clearly. I still remember that. I had the question for a very long time. I forgot it for a while. Now I remember after we talked about ghosts. So,
okay. This I will, if there is something like this green smoke related to Ashwadama, then I will get back to you this in the next class.
Yeah, it's related to that, Ashwadama.
No, Ashwadama and ghost will not be related because Ashwadama is not a ghost. He's still.
I'm not talking about ghost. I'm telling that green smoke is relevant to the Ashwatthama thing? What we're
Yes,
discussing.
that relevance I will let you know in the next class. Okay?
Okay.
If there is any relevance between them. Do you have any other question?
Oh no.
Okay. Anyone else has any questions? Do we have any questions in the chat? No, right? Okay. So any other questions? Any other discussions that you want to make or anything? So now, is anyone scared of ghosts still? After today's sessions, we just discussed they're nothing, just like us, but without a gross body. They just have certain desires. They're not even scary because, in real, they don't have a gross body. They're just playing with our imagination. So, any other questions? And how was how was it? How was today's session for you all? Okay, Atharv has a question.
Ma'am,
Yes.
a person is weak.
Hmm.
Then the ghost enters his body
Hmm.
and it by mistakenly lost its control.
Hmm.
Then he does penance.
He
He
does.
gets more stronger.
Okay.
Now what will the ghost do?
Now see, if a person's soul is strong now, the first thing is that the another soul will not be able to enter. Okay. Now for some reason it enters. Okay, let's take this as an example. And like you mentioned that the original soul panics. Okay. And what if the new soul becomes more strong? Now a person who is strong, a person whose original soul is strong will not panic. Okay, will not. This is now you see, if you are mentally strong, do you get anxiety attacks? Do you get stressed? Do you panic? No. If you're calm from here, if you're already strong, these things will not happen. Okay. So, and if we take the worst case also, that if such a person panics also, but it will not be defeated by a foreign soul. It will regain back its strength. So we will, the hierarchy is here. First, if the soul is strong, the another soul will not be able to enter. If it enters, then the second, the original soul will not panic. And even if it panics, then it will not be defeated. Okay. In no case, a strong soul can be defeated. Okay. It's only the weak ones that get defeated. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, we had something in the chat. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Or we can end the session. If we have any announcement, Mataji, we can also make an announcement.
No, Mother, there's nothing There's nothing to announce.
Okay. So I would, like to appreciate Arijit here, Anaga, Atharv, Sai Charan, Shraddha. You all are very, regular to the class. And if I've missed any other name also, but please view and continue to be regular, okay, in the class, and continue with your revisions also. And for the next class, I will ask the shlokas, okay, that we discussed in the previous class. And upcoming topics now are very interesting. We will discuss about karm, we'll discuss about moksha. So very nice topics are coming now. So if you have revised your previous topics, you will be able to understand the upcoming topics properly. Okay. So just like in school, you do your revisions. So here also continue that. Okay. Shraddha, you want to say something? I think your hand was raised.
Okay, so the students that are present today are so regular. I so like I used to say so you daily, like Anagha, Athar, Tanvik, Advait, Arijit, Utvika, Saicharan. You are so regular, na? Hari bol to all of you.
And I hope they complete their homeworks also, na, ma'am?
Yes, yes. They give test also. All of them.
That's very nice. So continue being so, okay? It will be helpful. And yeah. So for the upcoming session, like I mentioned, learn these shlokas and we'll meet in the next session with a new topic, okay? It's a more interesting topic, okay? Hare Krishna, everyone.
Okay, Hare Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna, ma'am.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining.